His Excellency, the Vice President, His Excellency, Governor Peter Obi, and indeed all the governors, deputy governors are here with us today. Our host minister, the Honorable Minister of Power, and other members of the Federal Executive Council, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation and the Chief of Staff, captains of industry, our development partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would like to warmly welcome you all again, our friends and partners, to this important signing summit of the Presidential Power Reform Transaction. To underscore our government's commitment to transparency, our renewed emphasis on inclusiveness in court transactions, and sustain the current tempo of transformation in the power sector, it became imperative that the meeting be publicly held here instead of doing it in the confines of the offices of our partners. Today's event signaled a major step forward in the implementation of our power sector roadmap. I congratulate the signing parties for reaching this significant target in our collective effort to revitalize this sector, which is so important to our lives and development. I must also commend all private sector players for their commitment to and confidence in our economy. Your zeal and presence here today is an ample proof of your endorsement and confidence in the implementation and progress so far of our power reform program. I can assure you that in spite of daunting challenges, we will not waver in the commitment that has seen the fundamentals of our economy advancing compared to several economies around the world. We continue to command prime attention as a preferred long-term investment destination in Africa, and our electricity sector, in particular, maintains its promise of reasonable returns on investment and ease of entry for all interested investors. I must acknowledge that since I effectively kickstarted the power reform agenda in August 2010, with the launching of the power sector reform roadmap in Lagos, and bearing in mind the scale and complexity of our power sector, considerable progress has been made. The Presidential Action Committee on Power has provided a viable platform for the required focus on the priority policy issues needed to reinforce confidence among investors. Today, we are encouraged by the sustained interest in the sector and the meaningful investment that have been prompted in gas processing, power generation, power distribution, and transmission. I'm certain that the high-value projects signed today and previously will impact positively on the rest of the power sector and the overall national economy. This will also go a long way in boosting the growing market confidence in the power sector. Our driving role as a government will be pursued with greater determination, and we will continue to follow through on the policies, guidelines, and regulatory structures required to ensure the steady growth of the market. We must remember that in the telecommunications and banking industries, where there have been exponential changes and beneficial expansion, the complex web of trading regimes evolve out of the ingenuity of the market participants themselves. Government will therefore not design the market structures for the Nigerian electricity industry. What we have done so far and will continue to do to set the rules of the game and act as a responsible facilitator and a regulator. Government institutions such as the National Council of Privatization, NCP, Bureau of Public Enterprises, the BP, National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, Nigeria Gas Company, Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trading Company, and even the Gas Aggregation Company of Nigeria are merely to work with all potential investors and create the pathway for them to deal transparently among themselves. To fellow Nigerians, my dear brothers and sisters, this age-long problem of inadequate power supply will be brought to an end by God's grace. We are dealing in a very dedicated way with most overdue infrastructural and corporate upgrades. And despite the challenges, we are making steady progress each day towards permanent and lasting correction. Nigerians must have electricity for domestic and industrial use, and there is no turning back, and there is no relenting. This government cares about you and will not rest until you can sleep well at night without the irritating noise of generators. Let me reassure all Nigerians that working in concert with our partners, we will continue to pursue the reform of the power sector with intensity, vigor, and determination. There is no shortcuts. This is a significant event. I call on all sector agencies to redouble their efforts, sustain their vigilance, and increase the level of cooperation and synergy among themselves required for the earliest completion and delivery of the structures and services that will meet the needs and expectations of our people. Nigerians deserve the best, and we cannot afford to offer less. In conclusion, let me commend all our governors for their interest in this business, and indeed our development partners and our private sector investors for having confidence in us, for you to place these huge investments in this country. I'm particularly pleased to hear directly from the private sector that the process was transparent and those stories of corruptions were not heard. Let me continue to assure Nigerians that, yes, there are issues of corruption in this country, but somehow it has been over-amplified. People should watch how we've been conducting government business. We've been bringing down the issues of corruption gradually. We looked at the fertilizer sector, and you will agree with me that if government actors are interested, we'll have continued the same story of buying all kinds of things, awarding all kinds of contracts in the name of fertilizer. But we are not doing that. We have sanitized that sector. Look at the power sector. We started, initially there were stories in the papers. But at the end, even when I went to the US, companies from there that participated said publicly that the process was transparent and issues of corruption were not there. At least today we've also heard directly that the process was transparent and that there were no issues of manipulations or corruption. I plead with Nigerians that the country belongs to all of us, and we will all protect what belongs to us, what belongs to our children, and what belongs to the generation yet unborn. We are committed to doing our best for this country, and God willing, we'll succeed. I thank you.